Some questions have been answered about the Lubbock County Expo Center that will appear on the November ballot here in Lubbock County. But it's also brought up some more questions that need to be answered before voters head to the polls in October. Hey everybody, I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. The steering committee behind the push to build an expo center in Lubbock and have Lubbock County voters vote to increase the hotel occupancy tax and the rental car tax released some more details on Wednesday about the possible plans behind the Expo Center. It'll cost about $50 million. It'll be located off North Loop 289 and University Avenue. More on that here in just a second. And it'll hold about 6,000 people. It'll be able to accommodate mainly dirt floor arena type of activities. Think equestrian events, rodeos, tractor pulls, stuff like that. Maybe even some mud wrestling, who knows. But also, they say that it could be retrofitted to accommodate hockey if needed in the future. We'll see about that. It's not a major selling point one way or the other. One of the big questions that still remains, or many of the questions that still remain, though, are about how all of this is going to work. If you actually look at the language on the ballot, what voters will be doing is giving permission for Lubbock County to increase the hotel occupancy tax and the rental car tax and to start the process rolling to build a multi-purpose venue. It doesn't say anything about a nonprofit organization. It does not say anything about who is in control. It doesn't say anything about no property taxes in the future being used. It doesn't really assure voters of anything other than Lubbock County will be able to start the ball rolling for a multi-purpose arena. So one of the questions that I have that the steering committee and Randy Jordan and others need to answer is, what assurances do we have that this will not revert back to Lubbock County and that Lubbock County citizens will not be seeing an increase in property taxes in the future? Because as of right now, there's no guarantee that that will not happen. It's not on the ballot that way. What's on the ballot is basically, Lubbock County building a dirt floor arena. Now, the steering committee says they want to be handed the money, a nonprofit organization, in order to build this arena. But what happens if the nonprofit organization fails? What happens if people get mad at each other and leave? What happens if this thing never goes through? It's not the nonprofit organization that's going to be on the hook for this, it appears. It's going to be Lubbock County that is on the hook for this. And we're talking about a 20-year bond to pay for this dirt floor arena. Another question that has sprung up is who all is going to benefit from this. The land that they are looking at is apparently right behind the Stripes location at North University and Loop 289. The land that sits directly adjacent to that land is owned by current Lubbock County Commissioner Patty Jones. Pay raise Patty. Patty Jones was defeated in the Republican primary. She's an outgoing Lubbock County Commissioner, and her land sits right where, or right behind where the Lubbock County Expo Center would be built. Now, there's two pieces of land where the Expo Center could go. There's one piece of land that sits directly behind Stripes, which is what many people think is where the Lubbock County Expo Center will go. And then there's another piece of land that's kind of to the east of Stripes, and it extends north. And that land kind of, it butts up to, sort of like this, Patty Jones's land. Either way, Patty Jones's land is adjacent to where a Lubbock County Expo Center would go. It's either butting right up to it or it's adjacent to it. Either way, Patty Jones seems to be benefiting from a vote for. Now, remember, the Lubbock County Commissioners, one thing that they came under fire for was rushing this process through and getting it on the ballot. Here's my question, and here's one that I would love for Lubbock County Commissioners to answer, and I would love for the steering committee to answer as well. I'm under the impression that this piece of land was the favorite for a while now for the possible location of the Lubbock County Expo Center. Did Lubbock County Commissioners know that this piece of land was the favorite? And if so, is that why Patty Jones voted to put it on the ballot? again, a lot of questions that are still out there, a lot of questions about how this is going to operate, what assurances people have. I still think it's way too early to say that people need to be for this. With all the questions that still remain, the fact that this seems to be rushed getting onto the ballot. I had somebody who emailed me today during the show, and they said, Chad, we need this in Lubbock County. We need a dirt floor arena. We need something to replace the Coliseum that voters said no to, or voted to give away over to Texas Tech University. Here's the deal about this, and I am a proponent of the Boys and Girls Club. I'm a fan of what the Boys and Girls Club does, what they do. I think it's great that the ABC Pro Rodeo donates money to the Boys and Girls Club, and I don't want to harm the Boys and Girls Club. With that said, a dirt floor arena in Lubbock, Texas is not needed right now. It's not an emergency item. The city of Lubbock is not going to collapse. The county is not going to collapse if we don't have a dirt floor arena for 2 years. We need to make smart decisions. Rushing into financial decisions, you can look throughout history about rushing into financial decisions. Usually things kind of go wrong whenever you rush into a financial decision. This seems to me still a rush into a financial decision, and I think the fact that you have an outgoing county commissioner who is very unpopular in Lubbock, that her land sits adjacent to where this would be built. Seems as though she would profit off of this because your land's going to go up in value. The land all around the Expo Center, doesn't matter if it's right next to it or sits like this. It doesn't matter. The land all around the Expo Center, or the potential Expo Center, is going to go up in value. And that's something that I think some Lubbock County voters are not going to be comfortable with, is the fact that a sitting Lubbock County Commissioner who was voted out of office is going to benefit from a rushed vote, a rushed ballot initiative, where there is no, at least from what we can tell, no mechanism in place to protect the citizens of Lubbock County from picking up the tab on this in the future. I am still a fan of if a private organization wants to come in and build this, go ahead. Apparently, the steering committee has raised already $10 million for a nest egg. Wonderful, great. You've got $40 million to go, or maybe $50 million plus the $10 million nest egg. Get out there, raise the money, and do it that way, rather than coming to the citizens and asking them to increase taxes on hotels and on rental cars. There's still a lot of people in Lubbock County who rent hotels for family members and for clients, and there are a lot of people in Lubbock County who rent cars to go out of town. This will have an impact on you in the future, and there's no guarantee that Lubbock County citizens won't be picking up the tab on this should the nonprofit fall through, or should things go terribly wrong and the nonprofit just disband altogether. There's nothing to protect Lubbock County citizens from being on the hook for this project, and that's something that should concern us all. If there are mechanisms in place, let's see them from the nonprofit organization. Let's have the steering committee come out and show us what mechanisms are in place to protect the citizens of Lubbock County from having to pick up the tab on the potential Lubbock County Expo Center. Send me your thoughts, Chad at KFYO.com. That's Chad at KFYO.com. Where are you right now? Are you for the county, or are you for the Expo Center, or against the Expo Center? We'll be talking about this in the next few days on the Chad HD Show, so be sure to tune in from 8:30 to 11 on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM. KFYO.